It's a brand new era. We got a brand new era. And it's a brand new era. Looking like a brand new era. Check a mic 1, 2. Introduce myself, a brand new dude. Try and get to know me, I'ma drop some clues. Rihanna wouldn't like me, see I'm not quite rude, but I could give a about who is who. I let my music talk, watch it make you move. See I'm calm and collective, not what you expected. Out the 8 section, into my check and see I reckon people now have a misconception where music should be lost of direction. No GPS's, how could we let them? I turn on the radio and music or recession. What we gotta do is hit them with the new shit, incorporate the old stuff, kinda like the cool kids. Gather up an army, going against Charlie, infiltrating scumbag who know music hardly. We got a brand new era. It's a brand new era.
All right, man. You don't want to do the shot. It's okay.
No, let's do it.
We'll have her come back. Check 1, 2.
Oh shit! Sounds loud as fuck.
You need me to turn it down a little bit?
No, you good?
You good? Because we can turn down. We can turn the headphone volume down.
No, I'm alright.
Right,
Sounds
cool.
alright.
Sounds good, huh?
Yeah.
All right. You want to do this or you want to do this?
Let's do this.
Yeah. All right,
That
man.
one time.
This one time.
That was this one time.
Oh, one shot, huh?
Holy fuck! What was that?
Sailor Jerry's.
Sailor Jerry's.
Not sponsored, but let me know. Man, a little hair in that one. Get some DNA up in there. Some of Jerry's hair. That rugged, some old pirate hair, dude. Just one of the whiskers. See you later. Thank you. That was Marina, was it? Mayana. She was great.
Later, girl.
I asked you. I came in here. We're at Desert Ridge, Sandbar Desert Ridge.
That's right.
And I asked you, I was like, who's your go-to bartender?
Mm-hmm.
Not to put anybody else, on blast or anything like that, but you said, hey, she's very nice to me.
Yes.
And she has been very nice to me.
Yes.
So she was great. But we're here. You're here.
I am here. F the Chargers.
Oh, yeah, they lost, right?
That's right.
Why do you hate the Chargers? Well, before we roll on to that, welcome to this one time.
This one time is burning.
Yeah, is it?
It's right there. It's burning.
It's right there, huh?
It's right there.
It's all good. It's warming you up. It's getting cold outside,
It's a little chilly.
It's late November,
right?
In Arizona, of all places. But my guest today is a longtime friend of mine, and we've been into some things, man.
Some things.
Joe Maldonado, DJ Area4. You still rocking the Bumsquad?
No.
Okay.
No. The Bumsquad got dismantled back.
Get right up on it, baby. Pull it to you if you need.
It got dismantled back a couple years back.
Oh, man. I missed the train on that one.
Yeah. It was just time.
Yeah. It kind of ran its course.
Yep. Pretty much.
Yeah, but you've been grinding on your own things, man. I mean, fuck, like when I shared the post that I'm interviewing you, it's like, yeah, hustler, man, since day one, I met you at the first show that we performed together with Bobby.
Stray Cats.
Yeah, Stray Cat. Yeah, for sure.
That was it was crazy. So from my perspective, I was just DJing there that night.
Yeah, you were DJing the whole event. You were there since like what, 5 or 6?
Yeah, I had no idea that you guys were gonna be there.
Yeah,
I had no idea that Bobby and your band was dope as shit. Like, I didn't realize that until everything happened on stage.
Yeah,
like,
once the song dropped.
Yeah. So Bobby's like, hey, do you want to do some cutting, up there while we're up there? And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure. And then
And this is after what, like 6, 7 other rap hip hop acts.
Yes.
That were coming through and handing you a CD or a thumb drive.
Right.
But you noticed that there was instruments up there.
Yes. There was a drum set. guitar. No,
it was just bass and guitar and drums at that point. Mm-hmm. So you notice all that, right? So are you asking yourself like, who's this for? Or are you just kind of like, oh, maybe it's just part of the atmosphere that they're putting off?
Yeah, I kind of like want to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, so I've done bars and stuff. So like they usually have some extracurricular or bands that come after the DJ.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know that it was going to be for the rapper or for Bobby's band. So basically I thought the night was over for me.
Yeah.
But he was like, hey, you want to come up and cut it up? And I was like, scratching? Yeah, all right. That's easy.
What I was put on this earth to do?
That's right. That's crazy. So so Chad was drumming.
Yeah.
And like it started, you guys are into your stuff, and then there was one moment I'm looking over and the crowd is just like, the energy in the crowd is just like, I'm like, what's happening right now?
Yeah,
like,
we had brought a lot of people. Bobby brought a lot of people out.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of coworkers and friends, family. Yeah.
So it felt like, to me, like, what just happened? Just like the energy just shift. There was drums, there was instruments, and I'm cutting, and it was sounding good.
Yeah,
like,
hell yeah.
Everything was sounding good. And I've seen a lot of artists come through, and everybody does their thing.
Yeah.
But I've never seen it like that in a while, especially since I've been in Arizona.
Because you're from Indiana, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So in Stray Cats was one of the first places where I started to DJ at.
Mm-hmm. Love that place, man. I loved it.
So
R.I.P. Stray Cat.
Take Me Back Tuesdays, they would have the underground artists come out and they would rap, and then have some other artists, so through the months I've kind of seen, pretty much what the local scene was about, and who was what, and Bobby was the first that had a band.
Yeah. That grabbed you.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because I met him through our roommates that worked together, and we're like, hey, my friend's rapping. And at that time I was working at Guitar Center playing my bass like poorly, just real basic stuff, man. And I'm still not any better, by the way. But he was just like, yeah, let's hang out, let's go to this dude's spot. And he's showing me some of his verses, which would eventually become like a lot of the songs on the first album.
Right.
And I was like, man, this guy's like straight cool. Like we would go out and party, and he'd be breakdancing. He'd open up the circle. I was like, man, this guy's got a good vibe. And what it was he was also boxing.
Okay.
So he was training. So that translated to how he performed on stage.
Right.
Because he's in there putting in the work in the gym.
Yeah.
And then when he hits the stage, and he was constantly just working on his raps. And he's like, you play bass? He eventually moved in to my place with the roommates and whatnot. And I was like, yeah, I play bass. Let's do something, right? And then where he was recording with Chad, he was playing drums too. Chad didn't really want to play drums, but he kind of had a fall in. Yeah. Right. So we did that, and then Kalen, the guitar player that eventually came on, baddest guitar player in Arizona. Love him. He worked with Bobby as well, and he was in a couple of cover bands and original bands. I mean, that dude stays busy. Kalen Gross. Shout out to Kalen.
What up, Kalen? Yeah.
Hell yeah, man. I love that cat. But yeah, he was just like, yeah, I'm I want to do something. And I was like, well, I'm down. Let's see what we can get together. And I remember them putting on that show, and one of the guys that was going on, that was supposed to headline, the guy that was supposed to headline came to one of our rehearsals, and as soon as he just, like he said, saw what you saw that night, drums, bass, I mean, you could be a dope rapper, lyricist, but when you're just handing off that CD or that USB, there's a different aspect when it's live.
Right.
It's like you when you're DJing here, if you're just kind of like selecting the songs, or are you actually bouncing and juggling and doing some cuts? There's a different aspect to that.
No, for
and
sure.
As soon as that guy saw, he was like, I'm supposed to go on after you guys. I'm not going on after no band. I'm not going after no band. Come on, dude. And like I said, like all the acts that went on before us were all just just your
regular rappers up there rapping over their beats, doing their thing.
And they were doing their thing, and they were good, but it's like that live aspect that, you know, I have a lot of friends that are like, you know, either really into rock or metal or country and stuff, and they really dug what we were doing because, I mean, Bobby's really lyrical, you know, in his own right. He's very powerful with his words, and then we were playing the songs live. There's no way around that. No,
it was just a good energy and vibe. Like, I remember looking over and I'm like, what the, right? Like, really? This is some good stuff, right? And I was having fun, and I was just doing improv.
Yeah,
you know, and just kind of knowing when to do cuts and when not to. And I was very novice at it, but I've worked and been around a lot of rappers, and kind of like, yeah.
But shit, it was your first time listening to these songs, so
yes,
you know,
and kind of when I'm up there, like I hear, but I don't hear. I was just more feeling the energy because
we were talking about the hole in your head earlier.
Yes,
you know, the third eye.
Yeah,
you pick up auras and just vibes and vibrations. The earth.
I don't know what it is.
The universe speaks to you.
It sometimes, yeah, sometimes. Sometimes.
That's why you use that energy that you receive to translate it to the people that are out to have a good time.
I try.
Yeah.
There's sometimes when I try, and then there's sometimes it takes over.
You're almost just like a vessel for what the universe needs to put into this room right now to shake some asses.
Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great if I was.
What's the word I'm looking for? All that comes to mind is concubine, which is definitely not the case.
That's not the word.
You ain't no concubine, right? What's the word? Dude, they use it all the time for items that are possessed. What's that word?
I don't know.
Bro, people right now that are listening be like, no, any possessed motherfuckers out there?
Nah, dog. You just went to the left side right here.
That's what happens when we talk about your third eye.
Father.
Using the force. That's what happens when we talk about the third eye. Man.
Yeah. That's kind of crazy because I've always asked for anything when I've talked to the Lord or spirits or whatever. I just always ask for vision.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to miss anything. I didn't want to miss opportunities. I didn't want to miss what I was supposed to see.
Yeah, that's huge.
So that was always things that if I ever asked anything, well, I've asked a lot of stuff. I've asked for a lot of stuff. Yes. But that was one of the main things I've always like, anything, send me vision, please. Yeah,
just like, Lord, give me a sign. That whole thing. Like, give me a sign. Like, not just a sign, but like, there's stuff in front of me that I need to, you know, be privy to. I need to see and witness.
There's signs everywhere, but if you're not looking, you're not looking, right? So
you won't pick up on them.
Exactly. I mean, you're not going to see them. So it's just a matter on, I guess, what you're focused on and what you're looking at,
where your mindset is at.
Right.
Like we were talking earlier about what mindset's been at. My mindset right now is kind of in the gutter. I need to get back on track.
Mine's half and half. Like I have my
That's
moments.
Good. Like an Arnold Palmer.
Yeah. What is that? Lemonade and
iced tea.
Yes.
And then it becomes a John Daly when you add some vodka.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're half and half right now.
Yes, I'm half and half. So.
Yeah. Oh no. Okay.
All right.
Do we need another shot?
No, we do not need another shot. So where were we going?
Half and half, man. Like I got to get back on track.
Okay.
Is that what we're talking about?
Yes. So what I've been noticing, when I try to, the momentum that I've built, I try to ride it as much as I can, but then I fall into either old habits or old ways of thinking, or basically just doubting myself.
Doubt, that's the big one, right?
Right. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think for the most part, I'm leading the charge. I'm on the good side. I'm on the good foot.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I feel like I've always like recognized of you. Like I said, you're a hustler. Like you're constantly out there And to me, it always seems like you're putting in the work, and maybe it's probably that you have high expectations for yourself, which is good.
Yep.
But I've always noticed that you're out there, you're looking for the next move. What's the next move?
It's always been what's the next move? Like, I've sacrificed a lot to get where I'm at, I guess, or gone through a lot and I guess everybody goes through whatever they got to go through to be at where they're at their certain point.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the focus and the vision that I'm still looking for and asking for. So now, like, I've seen a lot of stuff. I'll tell you a story.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, so that
Buckle
one
up.
time. Okay, so this is the first time I'm in Arizona, and this is the first time I realized that I'm alone.
Hey, and this is when you moved from Indiana?
Yes, like, I have no one to go to.
Oh, damn. So why Arizona, though?
So this girl that I was dating at the time, right? High school sweetheart type.
Yeah.
She was going to grad school out here.
Okay.
And I decided, we broke up at one point.
Mm-hmm.
And for whatever, all right, you want to go there? God damn it, I don't want to go there.
It's whatever you want,
okay,
man.
all right. So what was I talking about? All right, so let's talk about signs, vision, and then when I realized that I didn't have any friends here.
Yeah.
Right? So I have a lot of acquaintances and a lot of people that I do business with and things like that. Mm-hmm. But as far as friends, you know what I mean? Like, at the time, I built relationships to a certain degree, and then
kind of kept them at bay.
Yes. So that's just the way that it was. So first time I'm going to the Magic Show right up in Vegas. Okay. So I'm DJing in Tempe. It's a Friday night. I can't remember, the place is no longer called that. But anyway, so right after I'm done DJing, this guy C-Nice, like, hey, we got a booth at the Magic. Da-da, we want you to come DJ.
Oh.
Da-da-da-da-da-da. Right? Big hype man salesman, right?
Uh-huh.
And C-Nice, it's like, it is what he says, but it isn't. Like, you just don't know what to expect. But it's like, all right, you want me to come DJ? I want to come DJ. It's Vegas.
Yeah, hell
right?
yeah.
And this is the first time I heard of the Magic Show, right? Okay. And that's where they do all the clothing lines and all the brands.
Gotcha. Okay.
Come in and they're in there showcasing.
Okay.
Right? And where all the buyers come and buy for their year or whatever designers that they're going to pick up, right? Mm-hmm. So they're for all the retailers. So I go, drive all night, right? I don't know what year, maybe this was like 08, maybe 07. So I drive all the way to Vegas. Mm-hmm. It's nighttime. It's like 4 a.m, right? Right after my DJ shift, done.
Damn.
So yeah, just DJ to DJ. I've owed anything that was DJing. Okay. Where, when, how do I set up? I'm there, right? So I get there, it's freaking like 7 a.m, right? And I'm texting him like, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm freaking sitting, getting nothing. So I'm sitting in this apartment complex for maybe an hour.
Ooh.
2 hours. No sleep, right? So then he finally picks up his phone, and then I'm like, he's like, oh yeah. One of his cousins is gonna let me in. So he's not around and let me. I'm just sleep deprived, no nap, no nothing. I'm just like, what the fuck? Okay, I'm here. We're getting ready to go DJ. I gotta be at the place at 1 o'clock, and he's trying to get badges to get in.
Oh man,
like just one of those type deals. Like he's got one badge to get 6 people in type stuff.
Oh shit.
Right? So anyway, long story short, we get in. Everything's fine. You know, it was just a long weekend and kind of like just ironic how things happen, and there was artists there and they're putting out albums and everybody wants me to listen to their music.
Yeah.
Like, here, take this. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, all right, I'll listen to it. Sounds good. Yeah, let's work. Blah, 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 right? Big networking. And so I'm driving home. I barely have any money. I have enough to get there and to get back, right? So I'm driving, everything's good. I laid out. I think this was before like before Waze or anything like that. So, and I really didn't use like MapQuest or Follow, GPS. There wasn't really I didn't use it.
Yeah. Well, this was 07, 08.
Yeah. So it wasn't like it is now. But I remember the route that I went. So I was like, all right, this is where I got to go. This is my exit. For whatever reason, I'm just driving. And then there are trees. They're trees.
What do you mean?
Yeah. What do you mean? Where did these trees fucking come from? Like, I don't remember seeing trees on the way up.
Are you on your way to Reno?
No, but I'm in Flagstaff.
Oh,
And this was the way.
yes.
This was not the way that I came.
Yeah, no.
So I'm in Flagstaff. I'm like, I realize I took an extra hour out of the way. So my gas is like.
And you didn't get paid because you didn't play.
Well, I played, but it wasn't.
It wasn't what.
It wasn't. I got enough.
Gotcha.
But
okay.
but still, it wasn't enough.
Got it.
Right. So back in those days, it was just kind of, all right. I say I play in Vegas. We'll see what happens. I was always saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
If it was about DJing.
Uh-huh.
All right. So I'm driving. Like, all right. I got this credit card that has a little bit left. I don't have my fucking ID.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Right? Leave it back wherever it's gone. I'm driving, and then I'm noticing, but I don't notice until that I don't have any money until I get to the gas station, in which I barely make it. So I get off on the off ramp. So this is like a holiday weekend. I don't know which holiday was it, but there's boats. People coming up wherever they're going, they're boating, right?
I would say it has to be Memorial Day or Labor Day. It's one of the two.
It was one of those. It was one of those. It was a holiday. So I'm at this truck stop on E. No money. And I'm just like, what am I gonna do? So, and I only met a couple people, only had a couple people in my phone, this and that, right? So I'm like, all right, let me see what's up.
Extend the olive branch.
It's like, hey, I need somebody to come scoop me, basically, right? SOS. No, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't call my roommate because I didn't want there to be any friction if there was a no.
Yeah.
This
Gotcha.
is where I live. I don't know anyone else. And I'll tell you that story if you want to go that way, but as far as that. So I'm like, all right, I'm just not going to even go that route.
Ooh, damn.
Yeah. So who knows? He could have saved me that day, but he didn't. So, because I didn't ask.
Yeah.
So that's probably why. So I'm there like, what am I going to do? And it's getting later and later. All I just see is these people coming in. There's a McDonald's behind me. And I'm like, should I just...
You robbed the McDonald's, dude?
No, I did not rob it.
Okay, all right. Woo!
So right in front of me, I'm just like upset. I realize that I'm all alone. Like,
damn.
I'm all alone. I don't know who else to call. Like,
yeah.
And I'm only like maybe an hour away from Phoenix.
Yeah, an hour and 20 minutes.
I'm just right out on the edge. Like, oh, I'm just so close, right? So like, all right, I just need quarter tank gas. I'll be good. Let me figure out what do I gotta do. So then I'm just thinking, what do I do? 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 I look up, and I'm on the side of the gas station. So the tanks are to my left, and I'm on the side. And then if you walk straight, and then there would be the door, right? There's a payphone right there. I look up, and there's this little old lady sitting there with a suitcase. She wasn't there 2 seconds ago.
Oh, man.
Like, you see Men in Black, the very first one?
Yeah.
When they're at the shooting range, and they're like, what's out of the ordinary? And it was the little girl with the science books. It was like that. Like, what's out of the ordinary out of this picture is this little lady. Like, She had to be like 70.
Uh-huh.
Little.
By herself.
By herself with a suitcase. Just standing right there. And I just look at her. And then I get out the car. And then she goes, looks like you're in trouble.
What?
Right? And I'm like, look, I tell her the story. This is what happened. I don't know where my ID is. Da, da, da. She's like, well, $20 gets you home. And I was like, yes. And it's like, I'll pay you back. Give me your number. Da 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 da. Right? Get home where I'm driving. I'm pissed. Like, just one, I feel embarrassed that I had to in that situation. Just like, fuck. Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
but at that point, it is what it is. You're in that situation.
Right.
You shouldn't have forgot your ID, or you could have, played it differently.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was there, driving back, and I'm just like, man, realizing, I haven't built any relationships with anyone to come save me if I needed saving.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
It's like, got no one that's got my back, right? Basically. So I'm just mad at myself, mad at the situation, mad at the people that fucking diss me.
Yeah.
Right? And to their credit, they didn't know me that well, I guess, right? Whatever. So I get home, I'm pissed, whatever. The next day, so the way that we had it set up is we had the living room and then the dining room, and then we had our turntables in the dining room. So DJ Earl was my roommate, and I met him at a DJ battle. And then we just became friends and roommate situation, right? So I'm just cutting, just kind of like just doing what I'm doing. The TV's on. Out of nowhere, it's on this religion channel.
Uh-huh.
And then I stop, and then all I hear is, you have to forgive. Right?
Yeah.
Because I'm fucking upset, right? Whatever. So I'm just like, all right, you just have. Basically, that was the message.
Uh-huh.
Right? So I'm hearing this, and I'm looking, I'm like, okay.
But I don't wanna.
Exactly. I'm like, okay, I hear it. Like, so going back to seeing or hearing things or whatever, I got the message, basically.
Yeah.
So, and there was another time that happened to me. Like, I've gotten confirmation, if you will. All right. So going back to the third eye, asking for vision. So that was one thing that happened to me that could be coincidence, could be whatever you want to call it. But then how do you explain the TV talking to me? Not really talking to me,
but it was something that was playing at the time, and you picked up on it.
I wasn't watching any church show.
Yeah. It's not like maybe they got something for me here.
You know what I mean? But it was
timing.
It was on for whatever programming I had on the TV, switched to that, and then once I stopped, that was the message. It was about forgiveness. Right? So acknowledgement. I'm gonna tell you one more story.
Yeah.
All right. So this is before I moved to Arizona, and I have this big church thing that happens. I told you we were doing Quick Start, which is like Amway.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're in DC, right? DC, and so it was me and my girl, my two roommates, which were in a DJ crew, the Wax Mechanics, and they actually is the one that got us in there. So I'm like, I need money to move to Arizona. So I'm selling stuff. I'm in this pyramid or whatever you want to call it that they're doing, right? So they sell me basically, this is how you can make a lot of money.
Yeah.
So we go to one of the conventions. So I'm spending money to learn how to make money, right? We're in this big arena, whatever, hundreds of people. So the next day they have like this service, church service or whatever, right? So I'm pretty. Uh-oh.
All right, guys,
Hey.
I'm gonna sneak behind and lay this for you.
Okay. Thank you.
You told me you didn't want one, so I didn't get you one.
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. Yeah.
So anyway, so my personality, pretty much, I'm a non-confrontational kind of guy. I'll avoid anything for any embarrassment or anything like that.
Yeah, because you don't know how a situation will play out, man.
Right.
It's like you're gonna put yourself out there, and then it could go sideways real quick.
Right. No, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So it was just very out of my character. So they were just talking about stuff, and like at the time I wanted, you know how I was saying like I wanted to change a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so out of nowhere, bro, I just get up and walk to the front of the stage. He's calling for people, come up to the stage, like,
Yeah.
right? And it's hundreds
Out of character for you.
Yes, like, I don't, I don't even know how to explain. Very out of character, right? So I get up, then I'm just crying. Like, I can't even see.
Yeah.
I see the person on the stage, and they're just looking at me, and there's probably maybe like 10, 20 other people that come to the stage or whatever. But anyway, I have this big whatever it is, right? So I'm all motivated, coming back, like, all right, we're back from the conference, we're in DC, we did our thing, whatever. So then me and the guys that I with, so we're trying to work the business, basically. So we're in this liquor store trying to sell the owner. Out of nowhere, I swear, out of nowhere, this bum or person just comes in, opens the door, and yells out, "Everything is gonna be all right."
Yeah.
And shuts the door and leaves.
It's like those posts nowadays where it's like, I don't know who need to hear this, but everything's gonna be all right.
Yells it.
Yeah.
Yells it. And I'm like, because at least I was, like, not very skeptical about what I was doing, because I had done a lot of stuff. Like, I sold perfume on the streets and sold it in Tennessee and did satellites. I sold it in Vegas. Like, I've done a lot of
just entrepreneurial fucking hustling, dude.
And I look back at where I'm at now, like, I don't even know. That's why things happen. But anyway, I don't even know.
Like RZA was talking about that on Joe Rogan's podcast, like just last week. They would sell socks.
Yeah.
You'd buy socks for I think $5 or $10 a pair, and then you would sell them, or a set. I think a bag. I think you get them for like $3 or $5 a bag, and you'd sell them for $10 a pair, or $10 for the bag. And you would go and you would just slang it. You're just flipping shit. You're finding a way to make money and doing what you can, making the best out of it.
Right.
Like the RZA.
So I thought that was the best thing for me to make more money. So at the time, what I was doing, I was a DJ, and I was in my second year of DJing. So, and at that time, 2002, 3, there wasn't any big DJ stuff. Like, there's no YouTube, there's no DJ school. Well, actually, Jam Master Jay just opened up his DJ school. And a couple months before, I met him.
Yeah.
But anyway, so basically DJing wasn't where it's at the way that it is now. You know, you're vinyl, you're doing, it's old school. There's really no future. The only future that I saw out of it is unless you were on the radio.
Yeah.
Like if you were a radio DJ, that's where it's at. That was really the only thing or you DJ'd for an artist.
An artist, yeah.
That was really the only thing that had any upsides besides DJ battles.
Gotcha.
So there was nothing about DJing. Then moving to Arizona, I don't even know where I want to go with this.
You want to go dark?
No.
Yeah.
We don't. We definitely don't want to go dark. We're following the light.
All right. Good.
So help me out here.
You're talking about just, hustling, getting a sign. The bum went into the liquor store, or just opened it up and said everything's gonna be all right, and closed it.
Yes. So I guess at the time I didn't know what what was going on, what I was doing.
Which is normal, because how old were you?
I was 22.
Yeah, goddamn, dude. Yeah.
So there was nothing, was like, what, didn't know anything, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course.
So all I knew, I was moving to Arizona.
Yeah.
And I needed to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have shit but a car, a dog, and my records. And I sold everything but the car, the dog, or I sold the car, didn't sell the dog and the records.
There you go. Some people would be really upset to hear you sold the dog, man.
No, I actually lost the dog.
Oh,
So the dog got stolen.
you so lose sleep.
So I had a pit bull named Juice, and yeah.
R.I.P. Juice.
So Arizona basically wasn't very good to me for the first couple years on certain levels.
Yeah.
But in DJing, it actually was pretty. It did everything.
Because
for
that
me.
was what, 06, 07?
Yeah. So 03, I moved here.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And basically, I grinded. Didn't have anything.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't know anybody. So basically, you had to start over.
Yeah.
So what I did was, I got an internship at Power 98 at the time.
Uh-huh.
Or 93.
98.3, I think. Isn't it?
So it was 93, then it turned to 98. Well, anyway, so I got an internship. I lived on Power Road in Mesa, and I had to ride the bus, the red line.
Ooh.
6 hours. 3 hours there, 3 hours back.
Fuck. But that's where you wanted to be. You wanted to be around, because you said the only avenue available to DJs is to get on the radio. So you got a radio gig at this point, whether you're not on the radio, but you're.
I had to meet the best guys. The best
You're
guys
right
were
there.
on the radio.
Yeah.
Right? So I was like, all right, let me intern, then maybe get on the motherfucking radio, right? So I finally, so I do that. Intern, whatever. I didn't get hired, but I just went through a lot of, just what you go through when you're young. You don't know what you're doing, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But everything that I knew was all about DJing. Like, that was really my main focus. And then, like, everything that DJing has always been, like, I've always gotten gigs off of another gig or somebody recommending me.
Mm-hmm.
There was one time that I did a tryout.
Oh, shit.
It
Okay.
was Club Downtown.
Downtown. Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember that place.
So I had a bag of records. I called them, looked in the Nouveau or with the
College Times or whatever?
Yeah, whatever it was. I looked in there.
The New Times?
Yeah, New Times. That's it. Nouveau is an Indianapolis thing. So, and then I went in tried out. That was the only tryout that I ever did, and didn't get the gig or whatever. Did it, rode the bus back. Ever since then, I've never, like, went out to search for a gig. So, I guess how I got gigs was when I got on with Chase. For some reason, they knew I was a DJ. I don't know who I told or whatever. And I started doing the Chase events.
Ooh, that's not a little corporate gig.
So yes, so basically that's how I got a little shine and a little kind of people knowing what I do outside of work. And then, so my very first gig I got in Arizona was from the radio station. It was for Valentine's Day. They had the interns had to do an event. So it was at Marley's 9 Lounge.
Okay.
So the hot song was Usher's "Yeah."
Of course it was.
So that was
for like 13 years.
So that so that was the hot song of the time, just to give you what was going on. My records weren't here. The truck, all my stuff wasn't here yet. So it was on the way, right? So Top Speed, who is my mentor and everything, so he just hooked me up with the record labels. So I had a Arista promo guy, and I was having these records sent, these promos. So I didn't have the Yeah record. It was on the way. So I did the first event.
Your students these days don't know what you're talking about, dude.
They have no idea.
Your students.
They have no idea. So the first event that I did was on a Thursday night. It's Valentine's, right? I did such a good job, they wanted me back the next night for the Friday night. And everybody was asking me for the yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't have it, right?
Oh, no.
So I had to wait on the radio and record it.
Oh, they don't know what you're talking about, dude.
On a CD.
You had to burn it?
Yes.
You had a Discman?
So I had to wait, right? And I burned it finally. Took me like 2 hours, because it repeats whatever. Anyway, I recorded it. I played it. Yeah. That was my very first gig.
And you killed it.
Yes. And so pretty much ever since then, I met other DJs, kind of from one gig to the next gig to the next gig. And that's how I met you guys.
Yeah, seriously.
And then that's how I met Joel. Mm-hmm. That's how he introduced me to Jim. And that's how it just...
Rest is history, man.
Right?
That's how it goes. I tell people all the time, like, that people that don't know how to get started or get going in an industry, doesn't even need to be music, but especially music. Dude, you want to know who you need to talk to? Play 5 gigs.
Yes.
Just go play 5 gigs. Find 5 random gigs, play them. You'll find who you need to talk to, from either talking to the people there, mingling with them, or the people that you need to talk to will be there. It just depends.
Right.
But you just get out there and get going. And again, like you said, it's like you'll see it. It'll present itself on who you need to talk to, who you can link up. And it's just like everything else in the world. It's that saying, it's like who you know.
Right.
Which actually, my friend, I interviewed her, and she flipped it. She's like, it's not necessarily who you know, but who knows you. Because you can say, hey, I know Jam Master Jay, I met him. But when they ask him, it's like, hey, do you know Joe? And he's like, Joe, what are you talking about? And then it doesn't stick as much.
And I tell all the people that ask me, how do I get gigs? And that's what I tell them. I was like, what's going to happen is that someone's going to ask whoever that they're asking if they know you.
Yes.
Like, have you heard of this person, this DJ? And it's either going to be yes or no.
Yeah.
And you want it to be yes.
Yeah. And then they're going to be like, how was he? Or, who is it?
You get the yes. So that's your first step. Then it's, okay, then yeah. Are they an asshole? Are they good? Whatever. And then that's just going to be basically all the work you put in.
It's your resume.
Exactly.
The word of mouth, man. So huge. So what got you into DJing, though? Huh?
I ask myself this question all the time.
When you're brushing your teeth, putting on your socks?
Well, because I want to tell the story right, because I never tell stories very well. Like, my brain just jumps from, oh, I remember this, or I remember that, or I just go whatever and try to picture. So I don't have the right flow, but I'm looking at it from now. Then I'm looking at my future self, and then I look back at my past when I was really young. Like, it was just there. Like, even though I didn't know I wanted to be a DJ or whatever, but there was something about it. So I guess there was little things. So let's say, for an example, there was a Fisher Price Animal Farm thing, right?
No shit.
Back in the 80s, right? So scratching was very brand new sound, very futuristic, no one was doing it.
You could scratch with one of those. Yeah. Oh shit. That's right.
So I would mimic some scratches, right? And it was just more sound kind of thing. And then
just sound manipulation. Yeah.
And my sisters had records, but they were all rock records, like Kiss and all that stuff. And when I would get you weren't really supposed to touch the records.
Yeah, you weren't.
So the way that I tell the students, like, all right, if you never ever seen a turntable, they weren't like this, the way that you're looking at a 1200.
Because you got a controller.
Well, yes.
Or are you talking about an SL 1200?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So it is a record player per se, but it's for specifically for DJing, right?
That one that they're looking at. But when I'm telling the story, is like when albums were around, you weren't really supposed to touch them. So they had like the long middle stem, and you would stack the records, and they would have a magnet onto the tone arm, lift up the record, play it. Once it's over, it would reset and move the record to like another pile.
Okay.
Right? So it was kind of that. So then basically you weren't supposed to touch the record unless you were to flip it over. So when you heard scratching, that was all about touching the record.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, everybody's like, don't touch the stereo because it's so expensive. Right?
Yes.
And we never had a stereo. But my friends' parents did.
Oh, you fucked around with your friends'
No.
stereo?
But I see it.
Oh, okay.
So the way that the rack systems were back in the day, they had the 1200 was on the top of the rack.
Uh-huh.
So the turntable was on the top. Then you have your EQ, and then you have your double cassette. Right? So
Again, your students don't know what you're talking about.
I have no idea, right? And which is cool. So it's kind of like you have no idea, and that's okay if you don't.
Yeah.
Right. But anyway.
Yeah.
But I would notice that the tone arm was curved. So I just knew that, and the way that the platter had the strobes, which are the dots on the platter. Those were the two things that stood out to me. I never read the name. I never read anything. Like,
Area4 don't read.
I don't. I just look for shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so that's what I noticed. And then I noticed that, so there was two things when hip-hop was starting, and then I was in Germany at the time. So there was...
What took you to Germany?
So my parents were both in the military.
Okay.
So they were both drill sergeants.
Ooh, damn.
Motherfucker shit.
Ooh.
So...
That's another story.
Yeah,
So you're in Germany.
So basically, the only way that there was no TV was only like Armed Forces Network, and it was just news stuff.
Okay.
So we always had VHS tapes shipped from the States.
Mm-hmm.
So all that I had was either movies, cartoons, but the two movies were Beat Street and Breakin'.
Yeah, I did with the broom.
Yes. So basically that was the whole hip hop b-boy culture at the time was like starting.
Yeah.
And everything was like 3-4 years behind.
Because you're in Germany.
Yeah. So you would get it and it'd be late, and then everything would be just whatever, right? So at the time that was what was going on in Germany, right? There was the new hip hop sound and VHS tapes. So I'm at the babysitters, just watching. That's all I did. Just watch Beat Street, watch Breakin', and obviously the dancing part was the first thing that you could do because you didn't have any equipment, but you would always daydream. But anyway, long story short, that was kind of like my first influence into DJing.
Yeah.
And then my really big turn, I don't even know.
Scratch that.
It's so weird because I told people I was a DJ and I wasn't. And this was like seventh grade. So, and I didn't know these people, right? So these are all kids.
Oh, okay.
So I moved to Indiana.
Ooh, so you faked it till you maked it.
I don't know what was going on. So then Stephanie Sage, she had parties.
Okay. There was a
Right.
party chick in high school?
There was a party chick. So
Okay.
she had people that come, and then basically I was the selector. Everybody would bring their CDs,
Oh, okay.
and then I would play the jams. I didn't know how to DJ. I didn't have any really DJ equipment,
Yeah.
right? But that's what I did. Like,
But you had a sense for the music and
I
how it
did.
would flow, essentially.
I didn't know anything about mixing.
Yeah.
I didn't know any. I just knew what the hot songs were.
Oh, okay.
And then they were giving me their CDs. So
Yeah.
they were partying. I wasn't very a good social person, right? Just coming from Germany, having my friends there, and then not having friends. Like always moving around. That's just how it is. Like you have friends and you're not having friends.
Yes.
Like,
You have to start all over.
all over again. And then it's like kind of like going into other people's circles, and then you see their little
Clicks and
yeah,
whatnot. Yeah.
and their little thing, and they've been friends since like second grade.
Yeah. Yep.
Going through third grade, fourth grade. You're right, and I didn't really realize this until later, until I was like, dude, you're best friends with this person. Anyway, so that's kind of like how I got, besides being different, they never ever seen anyone that looked like me. So this is Indiana.
Yeah, 99%.
So it's either black or white.
Caucasian. Oh, okay.
It's either black or white.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
There's really no Asians. There's no Mexicans. There's
Yeah, the bartender called you her little islander.
right. So there's nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So basically, it was just kind of like this. I don't know. It was just
You're the oddball. You're the token.
It's always been like that for me because I really didn't grow up anything but just pop culture or just American, I guess you would say.
Uh-huh.
Because my dad was always gone in the field. I mean, he was always training.
Yeah.
And my mom, which I never knew my real mom, right? So she's white, my stepmom, and her family's from Wisconsin.
As white as white can be.
Which is cool because I remember second grade going to Wisconsin and being
Like to visit or to live there for a bit?
I went to school.
Yeah.
This was like before we were waiting for quarters. Basically, my dad got shipped over. We're waiting for quarters, and then once he gets his quarters, and then the family comes over.
Is that like his directives? Or quarters as like a place to stay?
Living place, right?
Yeah.
Because he's living in whatever they live at, the barracks or whatever.
With a bunch of other savages.
Exactly. Killers. You know? So, he's training them, doing whatever that they're
Is he
doing.
like Major Payne style?
Yes.
He was? So you can't watch that movie?
Oh, I can.
You kind of look like one of the kids on there, actually. You do.
But he wasn't as funny as Major Payne.
Oh, shit. It was all too serious.
It was all serious.
Yeah.
It was all serious. Yeah. I mean, it was... If you don't know what drill sergeants are, like, what's that movie? It's an old movie.
It's a military movie, too, though?
Yeah, it's a military movie. And he's training...
Full Metal Jacket?
Yes.
Yeah. It's Full Metal Jacket,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
That's it.
It's
just all yelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have to, as a drill sergeant, you have to break the people that will break eventually. Like, and I mean, to some extent, everybody can, and most of the time will break. I mean, there's a few of those hard like dudes.
No, everybody breaks.
But I mean, you got some of those dudes that are just
no. Everybody breaks.
Yeah.
But then you have to rebuild.
Oh, okay.
You build up after you.
Okay, good point.
After you broke.
Good point.
Everybody breaks, but then you rebuild.
Yeah.
Thing is, there was no rebuilding.
Just
was
break.
Cut.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever. But anyway, that's what Army life and drill sergeant was. That's just the way I experienced it.
Yes.
So, what are we talking about?
You in Germany being the oddball.
Okay, yeah. So
you're back in you were in Indiana, but you were talking about you were in Wisconsin for a bit.
Yeah.
So I think you're in Indiana.
So basically, I'm trying to give context of being different.
Yes.
And noticing that I'm different. Right.
And how old are you at this point? 13?
No, I'm maybe like 9.
Okay. Damn. Okay.
10, right?
Yeah.
So, but then going back to Indiana, then I'm like 13, right?
Okay.
So, anyway, I start DJing the parties, and I don't know how to actually learn how to DJ until after I graduate. But I've always had one turntable. I've always had like a couple records, and it was always around.
Yeah.
Like, I've always would wait to watch MTV Raps and wait for them to do something, but they never did it. They had the DJ equipment, but they would never do anything. So any DJ at that time would always, if you didn't see it like a DJ performing, like the only time I saw a DJ perform was at the school dance in 8th grade.
Okay.
So I knew that it was legit because I saw the S tone arm. I was like, This guy's legit. He's got the equipment.
Yeah.
So they said, hey, in high school, you have to take the radio class to DJ the school dances. So the junior high.
Yeah.
So we were in junior high, and the high school guy would come and DJ.
Gotcha.
Right,
Okay.
and come and DJ. So I'm like, as soon as I get to high school, I'm taking the radio class. I take the radio class. I didn't finish because it was so boring. And I had to wait a whole semester. You had to learn FCC regulations and all this boring stuff. And they weren't even really talking about music. It was just more of
the back end business stuff, the
not even business.
logistics.
It was just frequencies and the equipment, and I wasn't really geeking out at that time.
Yeah.
Like the way that I geek out now on equipment, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, and it would be in a coffin on the floor every time I walk into the classroom. And I'm like, that's all I want. Like, because I knew it was DJ equipment, right?
Yeah.
So, anyway, so going back to the question, how did you get started in DJing? So DJing was just always around. And I'm in college my freshman year. I get my very first credit card, right? Well, before I go to college, so my best friend, his best friend was DJ Mr. Mix, right? He sold me a crate of records for $50.
Oh.
So I had crate of records.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, exactly. And then this girl I was dating at this time, her roommate had a guy that was rapping who knew a guy that was selling turntables. They weren't the right turntables, but it was $300. So I'm like, okay. I picked up the turntable, or picked up both of them. So one was a Sony, one was a Technique 1210. Wasn't the right one, but it was. It was turntables.
It's allowing you to progress.
So that was the first step, because I've always never had a full set of gear, because I was in school. I was in high school. I'd played sports. I didn't have money to do anything. But there was a Radio Shack in Washington Square Mall. And this was the mixer of all mixers.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So because it had a crossfader.
Oh.
So everybody was all about, at the time, if you talk to DJs back then, and this was probably like the mid 90s, and it was $115. I'm not getting that. Right? No. Right? But anyway.
Is this a Vestax?
No, this is a realistic. So this is way before Vestax came out.
Okay.
But I did get a Vestax. My very first tax check.
Nice.
Yeah. So every time I'm at the mall, you know, you're a kid, you're in high school, you go to the mall, right? Hang out, girls, all that. You'd walk by a Radio Shack. It's like, one day. Right? So check it. My sophomore year, my mom was like, all right, no more baseball. You're getting a job.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sophomore year?
Done.
Damn, okay.
Right? Done, right? No more fucking baseball. Like, anyway, I was good at baseball. But anyway.
Yeah, but didn't you play second base?
I did not play second base. Well, I did actually play second base.
Oh, no, it's the worst position.
I was second, catcher, and center field.
Okay. Catcher and center field, okay, legit.
So
second base is the weakest position. Talking about all you second bases out there.
And shortstop's the best.
Yes.
Shortstop's the best. Where am I going? So I get this job at commissary. So this is my first job. And it's all tips. The military base is all the...
Okay.
Where it's fries, basically. A grocery store. So I'm a bagger. We just get paid on tips.
Okay.
All right? So this is where I meet all the other older kids, because they're all the other schools. They're kids from everywhere, right? From these 4 or 5 other high schools. And they're all older than me, right? So they're like juniors and seniors, and then some college kids. So they're coming home from college to work, right? So this is my first job. I'm bagging. So this guy that went to Lawrence North, James, he has the realistic mixer.
Oh shit.
He's a saxophone player.
Oh damn.
And everybody knew I was a DJ, but
You were telling people you were a DJ.
I thought I was, right? But I didn't know anything about DJing, right? So he's like, hey, I got this mixer. I don't use it. You should have it. So he gives me the mixer.
Oh, just straight up.
Straight up. So, and this is my senior year, right? So I'm working, but anyway, that's my senior year. So I get the mixer that I've always wanted, right? And I have the mixer. I get the turn. So that summer after graduation, so I DJ the graduation party with Brian Gray. He finished the radio class, so he had the DJ.
Yeah, he piggybacked.
Right? So we DJ'd the graduation party. So our high school was like one of the biggest in the city. So it was like 1,500 kids for our graduation class.
Yeah.
So Warren Central, which they call it Warren South Central.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Because it's like that, huh?
Yeah. Well, anyway, so DJ the high school party. I get the mixer. Going off to Indiana State.
Uh-huh.
I don't know anything about college.
Yeah.
Right? All my friends are going to college. I didn't even know how to apply. Right? Like,
Yeah. But everybody else is doing, you gotta fall in line.
fall in line. Right? So I'm like, okay, what do I do? I already know I don't have the grades to go to a big school. Right?
Mhm.
So I get into Indiana State. Right? So before I go, I get the Crater Records from Mr. Mix. It's $50. Had all the hits. Like, and then I buy 2 mixtapes up that he made. So I'm listening to these, and then at the time, Def Jam Comedy Jam was like the thing. So, and Kid Capri was the DJ. So at the time, that was the only thing that you saw as a DJ on TV. There was no, if it was in a movie, you saw Juice, where they had the DJ scene, and that was really kind of the idea. And then you had the old school stuff. But that was the whole, my roommate was like, Kid Capri is in this one. So everybody would call me Kid Capri. Just because I had DJ stuff. Even though I didn't DJ, I didn't know how to DJ. Right? Until I met Top Speed.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so do you want to hear all this?
Yeah, man.
Okay. I'm telling it out of order, but
I don't care.
okay. So before, I guess, so Top Speed. So
Uh-huh.
think of the best DJ in any city.
Okay.
You're a guy on the radio, the best DJ in any city. He's that guy in Indiana.
Okay.
He's that guy. Like, they have a mural of him in
Oh,
Indianapolis.
shit.
Like, no,
Okay.
he's that guy, right? He knows everybody. He's been DJing for since like the early 80s. Like, he's that guy.
Yeah.
So anyway, I would go to his house. Well, I would follow him.
Like follow him home?
No, but he would be at the clubs.
Okay.
So it would be like the teen clubs and then the under 21 teen clubs. So there was this club called Sherwood.
Okay.
So, and this was out in it was in Beach Grove. And it was in the middle of the freaking cornfield. Like, narrow roads, cornfield, then there's the Sherwood.
Fuck.
Right? Everybody from everywhere would come. Like, it was the place
It
to be.
is the place, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see that smile.
Yeah.
Some shit went down in Sherwood.
It was the place. So everybody, that was the spot. Summertime, Mondays.
Boom.
Sherwood. Speed is spinning. So obviously girls dancing, Top Speed. I was more focused on girls. But there was one time his cousin, so Joe Harvey was a rapper, and he was a year ahead of me. And rappers would always find me. Like, I just be around rappers. And so we're at Sherwood, he's like, hey, Todd, which is Top Speed's stepbrother, he lives 2 minutes away from here, and he's got DJ gear. He's like, come over.
Yeah.
So I'm like, DJ gear, let's go.
Yeah.
Right, go. Records. So we're in his garage, records all on the floor, tabletop, everything's clean, DJ gear, just like total studio setup. Like, boom, this is the spot, right? I didn't even get to touch the stuff. He wouldn't let me touch it, right? And he was cutting it up, and I'm like, oh man, this. So then he plays this video, and this is the first time I see Babu.
Oh, okay.
Right? And he's like, oh, check out
Dilated Peoples?
Yeah. So he's like, check out this guy, DJ Babu. Da-da-da-da-da. So that was the very first time I see Babu, and I'm like, oh, snap. Okay. So then fast forward, going to Indiana State, my very first credit card, first $300 limit, first thing I do, the Source record, or Source magazine.
Yeah.
In the back, it's Upstairs Records.
Uh-huh.
I bought a linear tech turntable because it had the curved tone arm.
Yep.
And the other one that I had didn't have a tone arm.
Uh-huh.
Right? So I get I buy that, and I buy the DMC. I didn't know it was a DJ video.
Okay.
Right? It's DMC. Right? And it was the first time that I see Qbert in Mixmaster Mike.
Okay.
And they're winning championships. Right? So this is like 94, 95 on the tape. So I get the tape, I'm watching the tape, and I have no idea what they're doing. Like, it's so ahead. And then I see DJ Rectangles on there.
Not familiar.
Right. Oh. So he's legendary.
Uh-huh.
So he has this legendary blue mixtape. And story about Rectangle is there was this guy that would say he was DJ Rectangle.
Ooh.
And he would just front, which is okay, whatever. I understand it. I get it. Right? But I knew Rectangle's white. You're black. Right?
Oh,
Like,
damn.
and he's never seen the video. Right?
Yeah.
Because back then everything was consumed by tapes.
Yeah.
Or the airwaves. It was hardly.
Not like it is now. Dude.
No.
You can out dudes real quick.
Yeah, you can see it's out there, right? So there was hardly any videos, and if you did have a video, you had a copy from someone. So it was the culture was very rare as far as the DJ culture and who had equipment. And so if you got lucky to meet someone that was a DJ, was your in.
Uh-huh.
Right? So I already knew, and we're hanging out and we're talking to girls, and he's like telling that he's Rectangle, and I'm just like, anyway. But Rectangle was on the tape. There was a couple other stuff, but Qbert, Mixmaster Mike, and at that time I've always been sports orientated, so I thought I was gonna play college football, professional football, until they told me no.
Who's they?
My counselor,
Oh, shit.
Mr. Shelbourne. Okay.
Damn.
He was telling me how it was, I guess.
Yeah, he was being straight up with you.
He was.
Yeah. He's like, let me level with you, boy.
But if he would have said yes, I would have gave it my best.
Oh, man.
But anyway, so I buy the tape, I see everything, and I'm like, you can be a champion. And pretty much ever since then, that was my focus. Like, learn how to DJ, learn how to battle. Like, all that stuff of turntablism was just starting. Like, it was so new. Like, I would record stuff off of the TV so I could listen to it in my car, because I would always have to drive back every weekend to go work.
Yeah.
So it was like an hour and a half drive from Indianapolis to Terre Haute, which is the land of Larry Bird.
Okay.
That's where Larry Bird went to school.
Okay.
Right.
That's the claim to fame right there.
Right?
The Birdman.
Exactly. So I would listen to it, and it was really more trying to dissect the sounds or whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
So I guess just fast forward everything. I look back on clues that happened and the way that it turned out, and I guess just stuff that I focused on, like when I moved out here, that's what I wanted to do. And at the time, that was the height of DJing, was the DJ battles. 2003, then 2004, 2005, everything went underground. Like Serato came out.
Gotcha.
Like records went away. Like there was a whole shift. Napster came out. Like
yeah, that's right.
There was a whole shift in the music industry.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, it wasn't at its height the way that it is now, where you have Red Bull, the way you have the DMCs are still around, and A-Track has his Goldies awards and stuff like that. So there's a lot of opportunity in DJing.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell all my students, like, look, the best time of being a DJ is right now.
Yeah.
Like, the equipment is so cheap. Like,
it really is.
the entry of getting in is so cheap, and then learning how to DJ is everywhere.
Yeah.
YouTube, schools, there's...
Well, you give a class. Come on, plug your course. Come on.
So if you want to learn how to DJ, come to AZDJSchool.
AZDJSchool.
Because...
in Scottsdale.
So everybody would... Not everybody, but certain people would ask, hey, can you show me? And I would always show them. So, like, even when I would DJ at Makayo's, and that was, like, my first steady gig every Friday. And how I got that gig is from DJ Mesmerize when I first got into a DJ crew, Bumsquad. And that's really when I learned the industry.
Yeah.
And I first, like, oh, this is DJing.
Yeah.
This is radio DJing. This is what DJs do. This is how DJs work with artists. So the first trip I'm not the first trip to LA, but my second trip, I'm on the Interscope yacht.
Oh shit.
Nicole from the Pussycat Dolls are Commons there. I'm in G Malone's Bentley.
Damn.
Bro, like so this is probably like 07, 08, maybe, oh no, I don't know, but this is the first time where I'm seeing DJing at a high level. Like Big Worm from he's a DJ and he's DJing, and you know we're in Cali, right? So it's like all the artists, everybody's there.
It's
like,
the hub.
It's
the
LA.
entertainment hub.
It's LA, right? It's music, right? And this is the first time I'm experiencing it on that level, and this is the first time I see my doppelganger.
Doppelganger. So you said the first time, so you guys have ran into each other.
So this is the first time that I ran into him, and trying to remember his name. His stage name. He's a rapper. His name is Def Case.
Okay.
Delgado is his last name. I'm trying to remember.
Def Case. Okay.
But
pull it up. I didn't see this.
okay, so
You got a little bit Cubert vibe too, you know. Got a little bit of that.
So I'm at the hotel.
Yeah.
Hotel Marriott LA.
Ooh. Okay.
All the stars are
Penthouse?
there. Like,
What were you doing?
no, we were there, but it's all paid for.
Okay.
Right. Bumsquad. I mean, this is the day before I go, I'm on the radio. My first time I'm on the M2 brings me on the radio. Actually, my second time.
M2?
M2 puts me on.
Oh, here or?
Yeah, here.
Yeah.
He puts me on Power. DJ. The Colts are going to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
like,
your team?
Everything is flowing. My team at the time. So everything's flowing, and then we go to.
Your team at the time? Who's your team now?
I'm teamless.
You're teamless, huh?
Teamless.
Any teams out there want to sponsor Area 4? He'll start repping your shirts, jersey, memorabilia.
So once Manning left.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's it, man.
Bro,
for sure. Who's that cat? I've seen that guy before.
So we even have the same birthday.
Who's the
bro.
other guy in the photo?
I don't know. I don't know his cousin or.
So you've what before?
So this is first time I see him coming out of my room.
Yeah, like you're having another vision. Is that what you felt? That what you felt? See?
No, it's like seeing yourself.
Yeah.
Dude, all the mannerisms is the same.
Oh shit.
Like So, and I never met my real mom. So it was just kind of like, what? And even people were asking me, it's like, are you related? Is he your brother?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. So I see him and I'm just not trying to pay attention, but I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Right? It's a cooler version of me, right? Right?
That's definitely the case.
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
It is. So we're on this yacht. Everything's cloud nine. I get my picture taken with Nicole and
You peaked.
boy, I wish I had more to say. I froze.
Nobody would blame you.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Ooh. Anyway, so I'm up on the top of the thing, and then we meet each other, and we're talking, and we're just kind of like weirded out, both of us, right? And I was like, when's your birthday? He's like, when's your birthday?
Oh no.
We have the same birthday.
No, you guys are separated at birth, dude.
I don't know, but anyway, we have the same birthday, but I'm a year older.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, but just weird.
There's no way he did an extra year in the pen. No.
No. That would be me.
Yeah.
So anyway, LA, New York, or not New York, but LA, first time I'm seeing DJing on a professional level.
Yeah.
Like, people are grinding, people are networking, people are handing out business cards. Like, and me, I'm just soaking it all in and kind of like, just a newbie.
Mm-hmm.
I just got into the crew, and I don't even know how I got in the crew.
Mesmerized.
Well, no, I didn't know. I met Mesmerized there, but that's because he's from Miami, but he just moved to Arizona, but he was going back to Miami, and he gave me the gig at Mikhail's.
Uh-huh.
And going back to, like, going back to teaching, people would come up and they give you this zigga zigga when I would DJ, and then they would like want to touch the record, and I would tell them, oh, you got to come back this way. This is how you DJ. You don't DJ from the front.
Uh-huh.
You got to come behind the tables. And then I let them cut. I let them scratch them, and because to me, one, it wasn't a serious place to where it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And two, what if that was the one moment that did everything for them, like the first time that I saw Qbert or Top Speed?
Yeah, that's a beautiful way to see it, man.
Yeah.
Because I can see a lot of people just getting like annoyed or like, yo, get the fuck off.
It does get a little bit annoying, but I can see the interest.
Yeah.
It's like the excitement, because I know how it was when you didn't have any equipment and you saw equipment. You wanted to touch the equipment. You wanted to. So that's like kind of the first thing that I do with the DJs or the students is to come and touch the equipment. Like, let's get on it first. Like,
oh, that's cool, man.
There's no rules.
Because it's like the opposite of your radio fucking class, where it's like you have to learn all this BS. It's like, yo, why? If you would have just let me get a little bit more hands-on up front, you could have invested all that other nerd shit that you're into now.
Right.
But like back then,
I could be doing what we're doing now, back then.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
It's all good, man. You're doing it now.
Yeah, exactly. And that kind of just goes back to the vision and focus. So, and that's why I kind of was telling you, like, all right, people ask me, how do you get started in the DJing? And it's like, I have these moments and these things that led up to where I'm at. But then I look back and I'm like, is this, like, oh, I was meant to do stuff, and people know that they're meant to whatever. And what I've noticed, like, all the athletes, LeBron, Michael, anybody, they've always known at a young age, or they've seen themselves right? And it's hard to vision yourself when there's no anything to look at, right? And so at the time, the first thing that I saw something similar to what I look like was Qbert.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of like, it just kind of weird, like just saying like, oh.
It just connects with you a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't even know where I'm going, but.
Well, it allowed you to kind of like see, okay, it is possible. Because like to get involved, it's a big leap to try to take anything serious like that.
Well, when something is like, it's not the norm. So like back then, you wouldn't say, "Hey, I'm going to be a DJ." You just did it as a hobby.
Yeah.
And
what did your parents say?
I didn't tell them nothing. They didn't say nothing. Like, I just practiced in the basement. So my room was in the basement. So I would just practice what I thought was practicing.
Yeah.
And play music. And so the very first time I made a pause tape.
What's a pause tape?
So a pause tape. So this was 7th, 8th grade. So this is the first time I heard mixing. It was on Yo 810. And I barely got it in because you had your regular, I forget this, Z100 or whatever, where they would play a little bit of hip hop, right? And it'd be more like Fresh Prince, and then the rest was all rock and
alternative.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Z93 is what it was in Yuma.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but then on the weekends it was Yo 810. I just found it, whatever, and then I heard 5 songs at once type stuff. So basically like a 4-track.
Okay.
Of whatever. I heard like, because you would hear, it was Sir Mix-a-Lot, Posse's on Broadway, but it had the Godzilla sample on it.
Dun, dun,
Him,
dun,
no,
dun,
no,
dun.
him screaming, the right?
Okay.
And that wasn't in the original, what you heard on the radio, what you saw in the video. Right? But it was the remix or whatever version that it was. And then that's where I heard the songs that I saw on MTV or heard on the radio, but they weren't played that way. You know, they were mixing together. So that was kind of like, really, how are they doing that?
Yeah.
Right? So I think it was my 14th birthday. I got a rack system, 2 decks and a little turntable, but it was stuck to it. It was just a little 7-inch whatever, right? It was just a GPX rack system, cheap.
Okay.
Right? Anyway, so I had 2 tapes, and so a pause tape was basically you would take samples of songs, and then I would make my own edits. So I would make my own stories, and you would have it on pause, and it would record, and then you would start it and stop it for a glimpse of whatever section that you were recording.
Yeah.
Right? So then you would record that little section, then take another section, and then record the little section, and then basically you would clip it together.
Okay.
So like, just for an example, I took an Eddie Murphy comedy tape that I had, and then I took this Eazy-E song. It's like rolling down the street, right? Rolled down my window, and he started to say, right?
Yeah.
And then I would put the Eddie Murphy, your mother got a wooden leg with a kickstand on it, right? and then that would be the cut.
Yeah.
And then I would play the rest of the song.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's how I would edit. And I don't even know how it happened, but back then you would always just record stuff. You would, at least because I never had enough money to buy like the actual tape. So I think my first tape was like 2 Live Crew.
Yay! They wore their shit backwards, right?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
No, that was Crisscross.
Oh, that was crisscross.
Yeah.
Damn.
No,
fucked up on
they
that.
were banned in the USA. So they were so Uncle Luke.
Because it was too raw.
It was. So basically it was just a bunch of sex raps. But Mr. Mix had all the cuts on there. Like that dude was cutting up on everything. So that was really like the main thing, besides you weren't supposed to listen to it because it had explicit lyrics.
Yeah.
But for me it was that, but the main thing is there were scratches on everything, and But anyway, that was my first tape.
What's the key to scratching? Is it more the fader hand or this hand? Like, what's the one you got to lock down first?
So that's funny. So what I was told is your strong hand should be the record hand.
Okay.
So top speed, that's what he told me. But where I was, my strong hand was on the fader when I first learned. Because all you were, right? So basically, all cutting is cutting the sound on and off. And you're just manipulating the record or the sample back and forth. So whatever the sound is going back and forth, which is the baby. You're just moving it 2 notes back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Then you're just chopping up the sound on and off to make whatever that sound is that you're trying to manipulate. Right? So all you would see, at least for me, is you would just see this, but you never knew that there was a technique behind it.
Yeah.
Like certain pattern to it. You would try to mimic the pattern because you would hear the pattern. You're like, all right, but then you had to have the right sample, which break records weren't out at the time, so they were actually in the records. At least that's where it was for me. So like the record that had the was on a UTFO record, and there was a spot,
Roxanne
where he's like right, and then I had it for whatever reason, and that's where I had my first sound.
Okay.
But the first time I purchased anything on the internet, or the first time I've ever gotten on the internet, was I quit. What time is it? We good?
I don't know. You tell me.
All right, we good. All right, so I quit college so that was it wasn't a D1 school, and I wanted to go to D1 because I know that's where all the big football players.
You trying to walk on?
I was.
You little savage.
I was. So, and Indiana State had turf, and Ball State was like the low grade D1, right? They were still D1, and they played on grass. So I was like, I need to go to Ball State.
Yeah.
So basically, and this was kind of like I figured, okay, let me go give me this one last shot. So I quit school. I work for my mom. She works on the base. So what I'm doing, this is the first time I not see a computer, but have the internet. 'Cause we never had it at the house or anything like that. But I heard my friends talk about it.
Yeah.
So I'm on my lunch break. I have my own cubicle, own computer, right? We're on Fort Bend, right? And so the first thing I look up is some b-boy stuff. And then I don't even know what I was looking for, but I find like, oh, people are still breaking. And this is like 96. I'm like, oh, wow. People are still breaking. So that kind of like got me excited. But then I looked up Qbert, Mixmaster Mike, and then the Invisible Scratch Pickles. And then that was kind of like, oh, they were like first had their own website. And so that was kind of like the first. So then the first thing that I bought on the internet was needle thrashers from their website. So that was the first thing, and I got it. And I was like,
is that an album?
Yeah, it was a break record.
Okay.
So I bought that and a Rock Raider X-Men tape. I can't remember the name of the tape, but it was just always DJ related because I was like, all right, I don't know what this is. Well, 2 tapes. So it was this weird. It was Demolition Pumpkin Squeeze was the name of the tape. So Qbert always had like weird.
Yeah, for sure.
Like it was just like, what is this? Like it was just intriguing, but like this is just so.
I mean, it's a testament to the way his mind works,
Yeah.
which is why he manipulates sound so well.
So that was and then I got the needle thrashers, and I'm like, it was just like needle thrashers.
Yeah.
Needle thrashers 1. It just sounds cool, right? So that was the first thing that I buy from the internet.
And it took a month to get there.
It took a while.
No 2-day prime shipping, dude.
Hell no. Prime what? So yeah, I get that. I get the tape. I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh yeah. But it was more instrumental stuff. It wasn't the... I think they had maybe a couple samples that you can scratch, but it was just more instrumentals.
Okay.
So I'm like... Then at that time there was Battle Breaks or something else that was out. And I didn't get that till maybe a couple purchases later.
Yeah.
But going with that, then the Vestex came out. So I think that came out like in 97, 98.
Okay.
So my very first check from that job, well, not my first check, but my first tax check.
Uh-huh.
So that was like the second job that I had that I actually made good money.
Okay.
Because all the other money was tips, and I was just buying sneakers and gas and food.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
pizza, right? Nothing. So then I get it was $1,200 was my first tax return, right?
Well, that's a good chunk of change, man.
So I'm at Guitar Center. So this is when first Guitar Center just starts opening up.
Yeah.
And well, at least it was in Indiana. And they had the DJ gear there, and then you could go in there and just cut it up, right?
Yeah.
So there was this DJ there who worked there, and so going back to technique, he was like, dude, you sound better with your left than with your right. So with my left, meaning left hand on the record and my strong hand on the fader.
Uh-huh.
Right, so that's where you do the transforms, which is just 4 clicks forward, 4 clicks back to the transformer by Jazzy Jeff, or Cash Money, whoever, the Philly DJs.
Okay.
So basically they godfathered that cut. So because it was kind of like everything came from New York, went to the West. So like how breaking came to the West Coast was from Flashdance.
Okay.
So it was the first scene of Flashdance was the Rocksteady crew breaking in the very first scene coming into the movie credits. Right? They're breaking on the cardboard. Anyway, and she's walking and whatever. And that was the first time that anybody from the West Coast saw B-boys going to the floor. Because everything was pop locking.
Yeah, that's right.
Back then, right? For the West Coast. So then that's how like kind of like styles started shifting to the West Coast, and like how West Coast, how they DJ versus how the Midwest, how down south, everywhere they DJ different. And really DJing was kind of like what you heard and what you saw. So if you saw DJs DJing and then and if they were any good, they were flexing, doing whatever that they were doing, right? And then that's how you would pick it up, and you'd be like, ooh. Then you would, if you had equipment or you knew someone that had equipment, and then you would just mess around and try to figure it out.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the hard part about DJing, is that one, you had to see it, then you had to pick it up, then you had to decipher it, then you had to practice it if you had equipment, and then it may sound good or may not. So in between all that time, there's a lot of time that goes by. So DJing always took a certain amount of time, and that's not even including training your ears.
Yeah.
So going back to seeing, because I remember watching the tapes and looking at what they were doing and having no clue of any scratch names. Like there were no name. Nobody was saying this is the baby scratch. This was that.
Uh-huh.
You know, because everybody was inventing it as it was coming out.
Yeah.
Or copying it, right? Until someone said, "Hey, this is what it was," or "This is what I'm doing," right? So you would just basically just have to figure it out on your own, and be in the way that I have learned is like, all right, I need this record because this is what they're using. I need that sound because that's what they're using.
Yeah.
I need that mixer because that's what they're using. And that was the first time I saw battle styles meaning that the turntables, the tone arm is on the right, and that's how the disc jockeys would play. And that's with the house style, which the tone arm's on the right. Both sides, left side, right side, but the tone arm's on the right, and you just play the record. Mix. Pitch controls on the right. But then battle style, you would turn it tone arms at the top. And I really didn't know that until I looked at it. And then they were scratching hamster, meaning in reverse from the crossfader. So instead of so let's say if you have regular version, the crossfader's in the middle, and then if the crossfader's always all the way to the right, that means the right channel is open, left channel is open, in the middle they're both open, right? But hamster is just reverse. So what you would have to do, which how I learned hamster was, I didn't learn how to scratch hamster, but I tried it. But because I saw it on TV, I was like, that doesn't look right. What are they doing, right?
Yeah.
But you would have to cross the turntables opposite. And so the left channel was on the right side and the right channel was on the left, and that would change before there was a hamster switch. So this was before the switch. So then it was like, all right, now it's in reverse. This is weird. But some people, that's just how it made more sense to them. It's
like riding a snowboard or a skateboard.
Yes, goofy or regular, right?
Yeah, or it's like on the Xbox controllers. There's
it's not regular. It's
orthodox.
No, it's called Mongo.
Mongo.
Yeah.
For what? Snowboarding or skateboarding?
No, skateboarding.
Or just
so
Mongo?
When you, so no. Regular style is Mongo is
goofy.
No, Mongo is when you have your right leg and you put it to the front and you kick with your left leg. So what you would do is have your lead foot on the board and you would kick with your back foot.
Yeah.
That would be regular. But Mongo, you would switch.
Damn.
So you would put your back foot to the front, switch legs, kick, then replace and put back.
That's weird.
Yeah, that's how I skated.
That's an extra move.
It is an extra. I couldn't do it. I had no control with the left leg.
I can't ride a skateboard to save my life. Dude.
Yeah.
Snowboard, I can snowboard a little bit.
That was one thing I wanted to be.
What was that?
Was a skater.
A skater?
Yep.
You gonna be a little skater boy?
I was for a little bit, but I wanted to be a pro skater. The first time that I saw Tony Hawk was on a video. And yeah. I was like, that's it.
It looked cool, huh?
That was it.
Yeah.
But the skateboards were so expensive.
Everything costs money, goddamn. Everything costs money.
Anyway, so enough of rambling of DJ history.
I loved it, man.
But so how? Just to answer your question, how I got into DJing, it was a combination of sound, songs, and performances that I saw on TV and in person, on video, in movies, and just kind of like I graduated with the culture of DJing from seeing it from not the very beginning, but in the change of the hip-hop DJ coming into
the forefront.
Yes.
And also I think in there you could lump in that you did feel like you were the oddball, the outsider, and if you could control the music or the vibe of a party, it made you fit in a little bit more, or it made you appreciated, I think.
I never connected that way. Like the way that I do now that way. But back then it was all about making the right sound. Making the mix not crashing, making the scratch sound how you heard it on the radio. So it was all about making the right sound for me. That's what it was. Now it's all about trying to connect with the music, with the people, trying to make them dance, trying to create a vibe. Now the creation is where I'm at and what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. you have evolved then, sir.
I hope so. I hope. Sometimes I don't think so.
It's only been 20 years.
Goddamn. No, it has. And just that and alone, like the hot record that was out the first time I played it in club was Country Grammar.
Dang, hot shit.
Played it like 5 times. In a row.
Well, that's what people wanted back then, though.
No, that was, you play that record,
Yeah.
they went bananas.
Yeah.
That was,
You would want to hear that song multiple times a night.
for me, that's what I noticed about playing.
Yeah.
Like, I had songs that I liked, and then learning, all right, you need to have the hits, the songs that people were dancing, or the songs that were familiar.
Yep.
And then in Muncie, it's everywhere that I'd played would get broken up by gunshots.
Oh shit.
It was hood, right? Like that was just what every party that I played had gunshots in it. The police would come.
Damn.
The clubs. Well, there was one time that it didn't, but on the other side of the street of Dill Street. So it was Dill Street was the first club, and how I got that job was my roommate worked at Dill Street, and the owner, or worked at the locker room, which was the locker room was here, Dill Street was here, so the locker room was kind of like Sandbar, but it was very small. And my roommate was a server there, so she worked there, and she got me a job in the kitchen, because that was really the third job I got, was working in the kitchen at Charlie's and Barney's. That's where I learned how to cook on the grill.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So going back to the story I told you, moving out here, I worked at a catering company and I was washing dishes. So every time I walk through the back of this kitchen,
Just put you right back.
dude, I look back and I see all those plates and the guy just washing dishes, and I feel grateful. And then I kind of see the progression of if I didn't stop.
Yeah.
Because there was times that I was washing dishes and you're wet and you're sweaty, and dude, you're washing dishes.
Yeah, yeah.
Not saying that's nothing wrong with it.
No, it was one of my first jobs was
But-
dishwashing.
But everyone else was out in front. They're serving. I'm not a cook. I'm not touching the food. I'm fucking touching the garbage, right? So it was kind of like, all right,
It's humbling.
it is. And I remember a clip from The Dragon where she's like, what do you want to be? A dishwasher? Right? And I keep that in my head. I kept thinking in my head, I was like, no. Like, all right, whatever this DJing is going to be, it was more, it was just more of an idea at the time, because there was, not saying there was no future, but it wasn't like how it is now.
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
it wasn't even half as glorified, right? And at the time, you were like, if I could just DJ, that's the best. Doesn't matter what I was doing. And I really didn't see wedding DJing. Wasn't into any business stuff like that. I didn't see that type of DJing. But I just wanted to win championships.
Yeah, it totally seems like it's been for the love of the art form in itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like all that is, it was all about, like, because I try to think like, all right, people ask me, you know, I'm not a connoisseur of music, like, dude. So the first time I know I'm really out of my level of DJing,
Yeah.
so this is Jurassic 5 comes into town. Speed knows everybody, so he knows Cut Chemist, Newmark. They're like, hey, boy, Speed, we're in town.
Yeah, of course. Well,
They're-
he's the baddest dude, right? Yeah, yeah.
Dude. So they're on their first tour with Fiona Apple.
Damn. Okay.
Right? So we're at the Marat Temple, and he goes, hey, we're gonna pick up Cut Chemist. He's like, Speed never drove anywhere. He didn't have a car. He's like, pick me up. We're gonna pick up Cut Chemist. And I didn't even know who these people were.
Yeah.
Right? So, all right, I'm on my way. He's like, come get me. I'm on my way. We picked him up. we go to Rockin' Billy's. That's the record shop. They're in there talking this other language. Like, they're digging for sounds. They got their portables. They're talking DJ stuff that I've never heard of. They're producers. They're talking, you know, artist names, record labels names, sounds. You know, they're just talking this stuff that I have no idea what they're talking about. And that was the first thing of me. I don't know nothing.
Yeah.
Like, the thing is, things that I know, I have no clue. Like, oh, there's so much more stuff I need to learn. Or, like, I never read the labels. I never read the artist. Like, or I wouldn't say didn't really read it, but I didn't learn it. Because, like, these guys, they know who produced it, when it was produced, what record label, what studio was produced, what recording equipment it was made, what sounds were made for. They knew all. They were just. That's how deep it went. Like, and it went way deeper than that. And they were just on some other shit. And I'm just like, okay. So I'm on the bus with them, and I'm just fly on the wall, just listening, watching, and just like, I'm here with these guys. Had no idea, but when I heard them perform, and I'm on side stage, you know, I'm on the tour bus, like, kind of getting the first glimpse of artists.
Hell yeah.
Like, this is where it's at. And these guys are dope. Like, you know, J5 just came out. It was the new stuff, right? It was the new sound.
It's so good.
Yeah, so it was just like, ooh, this is, and they had 2 DJs.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I saw them perform live at the Marquee, like 5-6 years ago.
So, and then Newmark's freaking, he has this Fisher-Price toy set.
Yeah.
With these blocks.
Uh-huh.
And they MIDI mapped the sounds on the blocks.
Yeah.
So he would turn the blocks over, and they would be different sounds, and he'd be tip, 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 tip.
Bad, dude. When I saw them, the dude had like a big fake turntable or something, and he was creating sounds with that. And the other cat, he was doing something else, but it was like these things that they made.
Yes.
They engineered these pieces to make music with it.
And that was when I noticed I wasn't on that level.
Yeah.
Like,
there's levels to everything,
like,
man.
I just wasn't very inquisitive of learning that answer. I always took stuff apart and figured stuff out, but I wasn't to where I be like, you know, how does this work? What's this? More deep than, because that's what I noticed when I saw that stuff. Like, I wasn't thinking. I was still in the box.
Yeah.
Basically, I was still trying to master what I was trying to learn, and still trying to master. So today, out of all days, so I've been trying to progress, and like, all right, I have a good momentum, so I'm trying to go back to my strong hand. So my left hand finally gets strong as far as cuts wise. It's more a finesse thing, but I don't have any speed, meaning the clicks. I can only go so fast.
Yeah.
But I haven't broken it to where I can go fast, right? So I just go to my right because it's already naturally, right? Like,
yeah.
So now I'm like, all right, I just got to train my right hand on the record because I can get the clicks and get the sounds. Now to get them to sound like how I hear everyone else, because they're like, basically they're doing triplets, and what is it? Quintuplets or whatever.
Yeah, quintuplets will be like 5.
Right, so they're doing those.
Damn.
As far as music terms, right? In DJ terms, they're 2 clicks, 3 clicks, and 4 clicks. Right, they're clicking the fader on and off in that pattern. So then it's just a matter of moving the record and getting the sounds in the speed of the click. So you're doing 8 sounds, and then making it revolve to where it's sounding totally something different. Because you'll have your clicks, but then once it's revolving, going front to back, back to front, front to back, back to front, right?
Yeah.
Then it's sounding something different, right? And then you have the speed. Then when you slow it down, it sounds different. Then you slow it down, it sounds different. But everybody's cutting like light speed, and you're like, how do I get there? And it's really just muscle memory, right?
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Practice, man.
And that's the hard part, because so then I was doing that today, and like, all right, just out of going back to, I've been into this, how do I get better from where I'm at? Like, is this it for me? Because right now, this is the most money I've ever made in DJing. Like,
Good, man.
Like, and I'm like, is this it? Is this it? Like, is this the great? And I'm like, no, this is not it. Like, going back to like killing my old self, or I don't want to be the old Joe, because the old Joe only got to me, or got to this point. The new Joe, or whoever that I create, gets me to the next level. And that's where the vision, the third eye, and all that stuff. So all that extra stuff that I've kind of had intuition on and then kind of learning, I'm trying to master that stuff now. So that's kind of like the hacks that I need. I've learned a lot about myself and stuff that I don't like. And not everybody's gonna, but what I found out is if you don't like what you have, one, you can change it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not permanent. Besides, okay, maybe you're 5'6", and I'm never gonna be any taller than that. If I don't use any enhancements, meaning I don't have any lifts,
You don't break your shins or your femur and add to it.
I mean, it's always possible I can get a little bit taller, right? Dude, I saw these little slips and shoes or socks.
Don't do it.
Dude,
Don't do
they
it.
have socks with risers.
I mean, I was going to say don't do it, because when
No.
you take a girl home and then
Hell
you find
no.
out. But, bro, they got eyelashes. They're
got-
painting on their eyebrows.
They got everything.
They got
They-
weaves.
they got-
push-up bras. They're wearing Spanx.
They got all the accessories, bro.
They're wearing high heels themselves, man. And what? We're supposed to just be like, this is us.
Yes.
But yes, we are.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
But going back to like, all right, whatever's happened in my life, whatever's holding me back, whatever that I can't get past, I can.
Yeah.
I just gotta, understand that whatever's holding me back, either get around it or let it go.
Yeah, because it's you. At the end of the day, it's you.
Everything is you.
And if you don't want your life to continue the way it is, you have to, like you said, kill this version of you and create a new one. You have to make a change if you want a change. Like, if you want a change to happen in your life, you have to manifest that within yourself first. So you have to be willing to say goodbye to the old you. So are you?
Yes, I am. I'm definitely. So what the part where the struggle where I'm at right now, I'm at the part where it's tearing. So it's stretching, but where the muscle memory of the old me, or what I'm comfortable, or what I think this is me, like this is who I am, or this is what you think you are, that attachment, that's I'm like, because you don't, unless you have a vision of what you're going to be, or what you are, or what you want to be. To me, it's like, okay, if that's not strong enough, you're not going to break the bond from the old attachment.
Yeah.
Right? So that's where I'm kind of like, all right, I'm doing things to stretch. I'm doing things to break it to where, but there's these couple of other things are just like, it's wound up tight. Like, damn. So then it's either, am I holding on to it, or is it holding on to me? Like, no, my identity, this person that I thought, even if it is the lowest form that I thought, or the not the better self of you, but this is like, all right, this is the more comfortable self, or this is what you've always known.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you?
It's tough.
Because you think that's you.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah, because you'll still be you when you make the change. You'll just be.
Well, that's past, right? So you're you right now, right? So then if you're thinking that you're this person or what you did to get reactions or kind of because I guess your brain is trying to preserve you, right? So you're always going off of past memories to how do I get out of this situation? How do I get into this situation? How do I save myself? Or how do I not feel a certain way, or how do I avoid this situation? You do certain things, right? So then if you're in new situations, you don't know how to get out of it until you go through it, right?
It's like, that's why people have to fail on their own. Like, no matter how much you tell them, dude, we have to fail on our own before we truly learn the lesson. Because
that's the only, exactly. Because that's the only way that it makes sense to us. Like,
if they experience it.
I think that's all a life is an experience, right?
Yeah. That's what it is. And this has been an experience, brother. I think we better call it. It seems like they're wanting to wrap up.
Are they done?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Hey, Cody, what time are you guys out? 2 in the morning. We got time.
It just seemed like they were like looking at us like, oh yeah.
We're just fucking talking bullshit.
Yeah. No, it's been good. I love how deep you got with the with the DJ, your origins, all that. Like,
wish I could tell it better. There's a better way of telling it, and I need to either write it out or whatever, or some things that I think that are stories in there that are significant, or maybe they are.
You have to write them down, man, because you do jump around a little bit, but that's how the mind works anyways, man.
Yeah.
Like, even when I recall a story, it's shittily done, because afterwards I'm like, oh, I should have put this in here and put that in there, and you jump around.
But some good storytellers, and you're like, fuck, this person can fucking tell a story, right?
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Me. That ain't me.
Hey, at least you recognize it. You see it, and you know it. You're not like, I'm the best storyteller, and then you continue to just tell the worst story.
Boy.
Yeah. So you want to tell a peyote story or what?
Oh. Okay. So, didn't do peyote, but I'm at my boy Matt's. I didn't know he was native, right? So I had no idea of natives until I moved out here.
Even in Indiana, isn't there like a lot of like?
No, it is, but I didn't see a lot.
Gotcha.
But they were towns. Mishawaka, a lot of the
names. And like, don't they have like mounds, like hill like almost like pyramids, but not like as drastic as the pyramids.
Right. So basically everything got shipped out of Indiana as far as how I looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So like, if anything that was there, it's underground.
Gotcha.
Right? I didn't see anything this color. Right? Now you see a lot of Mexicans. There's a lot more diversity than when I grew up.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Right? So I didn't know his dad was a chief.
Yeah.
Right? So Matt, so we're going to a Mixed Mastermind concert in Chicago.
Yeah.
And his reservation is on the way where his dad lived, right? And he's like, yeah, he's a chief, and I'm like, he's got eagle heads, and like, he's a chief.
Yeah.
Right? So he's got a nice ranch, all, like a log cabin type deal, all kinds of just artifacts and just like stuff that you would see in a museum, right? So it's like, hey, we're gonna go sweat. Yeah.
Like a sweat lodge?
Yes.
So what is that? Is it?
I'll tell you.
Pardon my ignorance, but it's not in a teepee.
It is a teepee.
Oh, okay. So teepee, fire logs in there.
Yes. So basically, it's a sauna.
Uh huh.
Right, and I guess this is where they're praying.
Okay.
Right. seeing spirits or praying. So my friend Matt, he is a drummer. So I remember he would tell stories about going to the Sundance. And then he would go to North Dakota and they would do the Sundance and big festival, right?
Yeah.
And I'm very ignorant about culture just because I don't even know my own culture, right? All I know is the food and some of the people that, some of the family members that I met. But it's always been separated. But anyway, so he's like, you want to sweat? I'm like, okay. Right. So we're in the middle. It's probably maybe 7 or 8 of us. And it's probably as round as this table. Like we're all in the mud. Fire's off to the side, but everybody's kneeled down. And then he's banging on the drums. They're, right. They're chanting, right? Mm-hmm. This motherfucker's getting hot. Like, my lungs are burning.
Oh, shit.
And this is, round 1 was okay. Round 2, that's when I was like...
What do you mean round 2? Like, you step out and then you come back, or...?
No, but, like, they're like, asking me if I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
Like, no, I was like, I'll stay.
Yeah,
like,
I ain't no bitch.
I didn't want to offend. Like, I'm in here. You asked me... I came, so I'm gonna experience it. I didn't want to offend them, right? Mm-hmm. So my face was all the way to as low as you can get to the mud, bro. Like trying to breathe.
Yeah.
And I didn't know you're supposed to follow the drum. Like.
So.
And that's your breathing, right?
Like Kundalini, almost like.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's the idea of it. Besides sweating and seeing the spirits, you're regulating your breath, right? And being in a hot ass temperature. So that happens. I don't know if I saw any visions, but it was an experience.
Yeah.
So that happens. I'm drained. All right. So we're an hour, probably maybe 45 minutes away from Chicago. So this is, I don't know, hour and a half away. I'm trying to remember the city. So we get to the place where they have the rave, waiting for Mixmaster Mike. And we're looking for things, right? So, but anyway, Matt gets busted. So he gets kicked out for whatever reason. He gets beat up by the police.
Oh, what?
Yeah. So they kick his ass, right? I'm in there. Don't know where he's at. Don't know what to do. I got things on me. And I'm like, if I leave, what do I do? If I go out, and we didn't really have cell phones at the time to where we can be like, hey, bro, where you at? Mm-hmm. It wasn't like that. So I'm looking around, probably like an hour and a half. Like, I'm stuck in Chicago. Mixmaster Mike hasn't come out yet. I'm like, do I enjoy the show? What do I do? Where's my boy? Like, I'm just kind of like, and I'm half drained after the sweat. Like, I'm just all into this other in-between space.
Yeah.
Right? Between exhausted and functioning. I'm looking out the outside, because if you leave, you can't come back in, right? So I'm looking out the door, and then all I see is this guy jumping.
So he sees you?
Yes. And so I see him, and I'm like, all right. I go out there. It's like, I'm talking to the cop. It's like, hey, you need to go out there. My friend's out there. Da 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 da. I go out there. He's like, we gotta go. And that was the...
Wait, so he got beat up, but then he's just standing out there?
Yeah, so they were going to take him to jail.
Uh-huh.
But they let him go. So, and he's telling me this, and he's just all... He's all jacked up. And he's upset, and...
Yeah.
I don't even know what the hell's going on. I'm like, bro, what's going on? And he's just telling me what happened, and he's like, we gotta leave. or we're going to jail. Let's go.
I'm going back for seconds.
So that was the PG version of the Sweat and the Mixmaster Mike concert in Chicago.
I'll take the PG version.
Yeah.
I'll take that for now. Yo.
So where I'm at now, I guess, I told you, how do I transform into what I want to become, right? So I've been doing a lot of brain research because my dad has Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's, yeah.
Right. So I've always thought I wasn't gonna die. Like, okay, so I'll tell you this story.
What do you mean?
Like, so the first time I experienced death, right, was 10 years old, and I'm at my uncle's funeral.
Yeah.
So, and my uncle and my dad are twins, right?
Okay.
So,
Okay.
it's
Like
bas-
identical twins?
yes.
Okay.
So it's basically, I'm looking at my dad in a coffin, like, and I'm just like, I'm crying, but I don't even know I don't even know how to express what's going on, right? And my cousin JJ is just screaming, like, that's all I hear is just screaming, right? And that's all it is. And then I'm looking and I'm just like, I don't know. I try to block it out, but I think ever since then, like, I kind of let go. Like I already lost my dad. I don't even know my real mom. Like, I don't have anybody.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess it was kind of a big mind shift now that I look at it. But so I guess because he died of a heart attack, and then my cousin died a couple years later of a heart attack.
Oh shit.
And so it was like all the men in our family were dying, basically.
Yeah.
Right? Yes!
That is great.
That's a winner. Let's get her on the podcast. Ash.
That's wild.
Right?
Love it.
That's the handstand.
Yeah.
But so what was I talking about? Okay, so one trip moment. So I always thought I was gonna die young. Like every time I got to 18, like, oh.
So like milestone ages?
Yes, but I've always had this heart pain. Like ever since. I don't know if this was normal, and I never told anyone about it. Like, my heart would just squeeze. Like, I don't even know if this is normal. But, I would just stop.
Ooh.
Like, it would just go like this, and then I'd just be like a contraction,
Yeah.
right? And I could feel, like, the blood going through the vessels, like, trying to push out, right?
How high are you?
I'm not at all. I'm a kid. So the first time I've ever experienced, I was like maybe like 7 or 8.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So and it probably happened maybe like 7 or 8 times in my life. Like just out of nowhere, I'd just be okay, right? Just like right. So I've always thought I was, after they left or they passed, I always thought I was going to be the next one. Like, that was just my thinking. Even though I never really thought about it, I never dwelled on it, but, like, in the back of my mind, I was like, all right, I'm next. Like, it is what it is. So, I've always been, like, not fearful, but not, like, how I should be. Like, I guess... I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with that. But So there was one episode. We're partying with this girl. Right? We're partying.
Going hard.
Going hard. And I just meet this girl. And then I'm at her house. And then she opens the Bible. Like, random. And reads this passage. And it gives me numbers of how old I'm going to die. Right? So it gave me 2 numbers.
Uh-huh.
So it was either like 67 or 77 or some, I don't remember, but it was 2 numbers. One saying, if I keep doing what I'm doing, this is what it's going to be.
Uh-huh.
And if I don't, this is what it's going to be. Right? And this was a long time ago and it was just random. Like, hey, we're partying, just talking, and then we're going deep on a conversation, and then she just opens and wherever she's reading at, and this is the message. I'm like, so I kind of like, all right, I got my reading or whatever. I don't even know what you would call it, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like, do you believe it or don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And like, I grew up, like my parents wanted me to be a priest because everything was fucked up. So I was an altar boy.
Uh-huh.
I was a Boy Scout. I done all these, had a lot of good foundation.
Yeah.
Right? And this was all in Germany. Like, I would ride my skateboard down, and my parents would even, sometimes they would come to church or whatever, but I don't know why I went. Like, I think I wanted to get out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't really do anything bad or anything like that, but it was just what happened, right? And I didn't like being in front of people. Like I look different, and I've always been on the stage. Like, you know, I'm holding the book, I'm sitting next, you know, I'm front and center, right? Same with DJing, same with other things that I've done, and like I've always been in the front, and where it's been really mostly uncomfortable. But just going back to, like, all right, I have religious ties, things, but I'm never like I never threw it on anybody, or I never, not saying I didn't believe it, but I knew there was more than one way. Like, I never thought like this is the all and be all, whatever that information that I was getting.
Yep.
So going back to that, and then kind of like seeing, you know, I guess just experiencing, I never told any nobody knows this.
Oh shit.
No, nobody knows this but that one time, right? Like, nobody, my parents don't know this, nobody knows this except for either the people that I've experienced it with. I may told a couple stories, but I've never told that story.
Yeah.
But kind of like all right, you're getting signs, you're getting visions, you're getting, and I don't even know when I started asking for vision, because I knew, like, I didn't understand other stuff, and I'd always be asking, you know, you ask for your normal things. Oh, I don't want to be sick, I want to be this, I want to, you know, this selfish stuff. But I knew asking for vision would be the most thing that would serve me the most, right? But I don't even know what that vision is. Like, if it's, I wouldn't even say if it's a gift, or, because
you don't know how to take it, you know, like a lot of times that's like I was reading Game of Thrones, you know, I love the series, and I was reading the books, and one of the Red Priestess, she can read the flames, but a lot of times, you know, it just depends on how you decipher the visions. You don't, and it's not black and white. It's
right.
not.
No, it isn't. and I think you can change. I think I think
we need to go join that, dude.
I think you can change at any moment of part of the reality or changing what's happening. So if you're making the decision of, all right, this is where it is, I gotta make a change, something has to change, then even if you don't know, but you knowing, all right, something has to change. The way you're thinking, the way you're acting, the way whatever, that there's something different has to happen.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it starts with, all right, because I swear I'm sick and tired of being afraid, being ashamed, being like certain things. Like I'm tired of it. Like I'm fucking tired of it. But it's still there. Like, okay, does it stay? Does it, or is it always going to be like, all right, this is how I'm going to be? Am I really going to like accept it? Like, is that what it is? I'm not accepting it. Like, oh, be who you are, accept it, right? And whatever, right? Or whatever, everybody goes through their own stuff, and their past doesn't determine their reality, or however you want to word it.
Where they are now.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it could shape you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
If
you haven't acknowledged and taken responsibility for the past.
Right.
Yeah. Then yeah, it still is having a big impact on you now. But if you can acknowledge it and you can take responsibility that that's who you were then, and you accept all the flaws, but it has come to shape who you are now and you're a better person for it, then yeah. But if you've yet to reach that point, then yeah, you're still the same motherfucker.
So when does it change? Is it when you're saying you're changing, or do you
can say it all you want,
or do you go through it and you don't even know it until you look back?
Yeah, there's a lot of that, because people always look like I asked you, how did you know you want to become a DJ? And it wasn't one thing.
Yeah.
It was 3, 4, 5 different things that just popped up at different times in your life, but it was always a constant. So you really can't point to one. Like, that's what people look for a lot of times. They look for like that aha moment, and it's beautiful when you hear somebody's story where they have that aha moment, and they might have not even had that. They might just look back and be like, well, I can pinpoint this was the point, and then they can dress it up. Not necessarily dress it up, but make it more of an impact than it actually was.
Right.
But because they acknowledge that is the pivotal moment that kind of led to these dominoes falling, then they can just say, well, this was the moment I knew, and it brought this feeling over me, and blah blah blah. But it might not even be the case.
Right.
Because our memory is just shit in general. Like, memory is us trying to remember a memory, so it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, so what I heard once was so your body holds memory.
There's a crazier theory than that everything holds memory. The stand, this cable, that bottle of water, like there's memories attached to every object.
Right.
There's that theory too, but I believe that.
So then, how to get stuff out of the body so that either it's, so I guess letting it go or removing it. So basically, if your cup is full, how do you put more stuff in the cup? So do you keep filling it till it overflows, or do you empty it and then fill it? So like, or you just keep fill it so it's overflowing, so then it's just all the new stuff? Or is it still a combination of still the old stuff with the new stuff? Or you have to just dump the old stuff out and then add the new stuff?
You got me on that one, man. What to do?
Yeah. But I just heard someone say that, like, trying to do a lot of stuff, like the cup has to be empty. Or maybe it doesn't have to be empty, but if it's full, it's full. There's nothing else to go in.
I think that reverts back to the point we made, where it's like you have to kill your previous self if you want your life to change.
That is for sure.
You have to accept that you're gonna have to say goodbye to the old you if you want new things.
So this is where I've been this is the constant of my research that I've found that people keep repeating, right? You hear great athletes, they visualize the shot, right? They see it. Musicians, they see stuff in color. They see the sound. They see whatever, right? So I'm hearing visualization. Visualization is one of the elements, and the other elements is feeling. So then they say, okay, your mind can't determine reality or not. Like, all right, is this like you could trick your brain basically, right? If you're visioning something that it's vivid, your body's not gonna know until you decipher it, if whatever it is. Like, you know, if you have a dream, it's so you can be scared. You woke up scared, right? So I'm like, okay, vision is one of the key elements. This is the repetitive thing that I've found out over maybe 3 or 4 years of really, okay, my dad had Alzheimer's or has Alzheimer's. I don't want to have that. Is it genetic? Is it not? What do I do I don't want to die early? Or now that I look at like, okay, there's other things I don't have to accept what used to be or what's I guess what was said in the past. Like, okay, like you said, you can be taller, you can be this, you can change anything, like technology, you know, you know more stuff about your body, all this kinds of stuff, you can hack all these things. So I'm like, all right, I gotta eat these foods, I gotta eat all this, like, all right, how I need to get my brain stronger so that it's not going to deteriorate to where, okay, if it is something, but I believe, okay, you can fix it, your body heals itself, you know, to certain levels, right? It'll always, if you give it enough time, it'll repair. Yeah. Right?
Unless it's too severe, but yeah, for the most part.
I believe it, right?
Yeah.
And it probably would do other things if it had more time to repair. And I just think we're not in the right conditions for all the cells dying, rebuilding, cells dying, rebuilding, cells dying, rebuilding, right? So I don't think we just have enough time or enough things to assist in whatever needs to be rebuilt.
Yeah.
But going back into the brain, like, all right, you have the subconscious, the conscious, and then, all right, are you letting your subconscious do the driving, or is your conscious doing the driving, or is your third eye, how do you use that to drive? Like, where are you living at? Am I living in the past of my conscious, or my subconscious is living in the past, or am I living in my muscle memory of old things?
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
That's fucking tough. And there's the argument that there is no free will. Like, you're not making your own decisions. Your decisions are based off of your, like, the color of your skin, your upbringing. Like,
no,
you can't make a decision for yourself. Like, there is that argument.
There is. This is what I think the free will part. It is like you decide everything. Right?
That's how I feel.
Right, and you decide that it's this. You decide that it's that. You decide that I believe it. You decide that I don't believe it. You decide that I want to sit down. You decide that I want to get up. You decide it all. Like, am I going to let this person affect me in whatever way that is? It's either going to be yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
And then, am I going to let this situation affect me? Yes or no? Is this going to be yes or no? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yeah, you got to jump. But that's the thing. That I think that's where they say is like, like your history or like your genetic makeup will kind of predetermined. Like, are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? But if you're a non-starter or a person that doesn't like confrontation, you might not make that jump because that's just genetically that's who you are.
To a degree. So let's say, if you are that, or that's just how things were shaped, because genes change, right? Genes can change?
Well, with CRISPR now they can, but
what's CRISPR?
Generally no. CRISPR is this technology that uses bacteria to actually create. The main thing that everybody's worried about is that they're going to create designer babies.
Right.
You can have a kid that's 6'4", 240 pounds, blonde hair, blue eyes. Like you can edit.
They already do that.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
But it's not even CRISPR.
What do you mean?
It's
in vitro.
That person's got good eyes, bad skin, tall person, short person. I'm gonna mate with them, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you have
but it's still a chance though, unless their genes are dominant. This one you can literally start checking off boxes.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
You definitely
I know what you're getting at.
You definitely can petri dish something and make it. But that's the free will part of it. You can make it. There's everything. There's everything everything's already been created. Everything. Right? So if everything's already been created, even the stuff that we haven't seen, but it's created off of something that has been created. So we're adding on to it or whatever. So it's nothing new. It just whatever. If you think
just new application is what you're getting at.
Yeah, or if it's evolving. If you think of evolution or whatever, that it's just piecing. I mean, it's so hard to think. Okay, what's a fucking billion years?
Oh my God, you can't.
How do you even think about what's a billion years?
That's 1,000 million.
Like, really? Like
1,000 million.
So everything was frozen forever? Like, and then what happened? Like, whatever. I don't know. But it's, I don't even try to even think of stuff. Like, that just hurts my brain. Like, I don't.
No, because even people that like acknowledge it, it's still such a big number that we still can't comprehend it. Like, you can't. You can say, oh yeah, that's a big ass number. It's 1,000 million, but think about how much a million is, and then it's 1,000 of those. It's just insane.
It's a long time.
Yeah,
it's a very long time. But I don't know.
I don't know either.
So I can learn how to Rubik's Cube. There's instructions, right?
Oh, for sure, man. Okay. If I can do it, any fucking dumbass can do it.
I remember I didn't know how to do the Rubik's Cube, and I would take the stickers off.
No, once it clicks, it just clicks in that algorithm. The one it's basic.
So it's the pattern, right? So then it's.
I should have brought it.
No, I want to be frustrated, but I'm glad that because when I saw it today, you doing it. And I'm like, this mother, damn. And I have a friend, his son is like one of those 2 seconds type kids, right?
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to be like that. Like,
that's a difference. See, that's an algorithm. Like, generally you can get it. I think it's God's algorithm. I think it's what it's called. But it's like the shortest amount of moves that you can solve a Rubik's Cube, and I think it's 16. The way I do it, the average move is like 220, I think, like that. 220 like wrists, because it's the basic method. It's, hey, get this, and then once you get this, get that, and then that allows you to get to the next stage, to the next stage, to the next stage.
Steps.
Yeah.
Aha.
Versus just get the algorithm down.
Because I can do the planking all day.
Get on it. I gotta hit the head, man. Let's wrap this baby up. Right, how can people follow you?
Man, walk right beside me.
No, what's your handle?
I know. At DJ Area4 is everything.
On everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
On your Pornhub username, DJ Area4. No. You go hard. You didn't even go with the fake name.
No. No.
DJ, it's Area 69. Hey. You segue to you teach kids.
No.
Your school, Arizona DJ School, based in Scottsdale, right?
It is, yes.
Awesome. So people can reach out to you how to sign up for that?
So you can go on Instagram, send a message, or go on Facebook to the Facebook page, send a message. You can ask someone that knows me, get my number, text me. Usually that's how it happens. Or if you Google, there's a phone number, there's an email. I've always like DJing in a DJ school. Like, it's odd to me because there's always techniques and principles of DJing, but it's like there shouldn't be homework. There shouldn't there shouldn't be, you know, you're gonna learn what you're gonna learn. So you can have someone show you how to do, I wouldn't say do DJing, but
learn the basics,
right? Like how to manipulate sound.
But it's still on them
with techniques. It is. So it's like, you know, you gotta practice. You gotta get inspired. You gotta have whatever is driving you to pursue it, and that's it, just in anything. Now, what I do know is if you have success earlier and it's not as frustrating, or you don't have as many roadblocks, or you get more aha moments earlier in the process and you get success, there's a better chance of you following through.
Yeah.
So I get you DJing in 2 hours.
You start hitting those markers a lot sooner than if you didn't.
Because that's just like in anything. Once you get a little confidence, oh, I can do it. Ooh, I got confidence. Now I got to do this next. Oh, I got some confidence. Next, who's that?
I don't know, but I just noticed I'm like breathing pretty heavy into the mic. So hopefully nobody got too bothered from that. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. This has been This One Time.
Don't publish This One Time. This was.
I loved it, man. I love the deep dive, and we'll be back on, and we'll tell some more drug stories.
Yeah. Oh.
Area 4, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Catch them spinning all around the valley.
Yeah. If you want to catch me spinning, I'll be at Sandbar Monday through Friday at Desert Ridge, Chandler, or Gilbert.
There's one near you. No excuses, you heathens.
Heathens.
All right. Say your goodnight prayers. Talk to you later.
Peace.